Well, hi. It's great to see you.
Thank you
Uh,
for having me.
it's great to learn more about how you're using Explorance. So let's start just by introducing yourself to everyone, what you
Sure.
do, your role.
Yeah, thank you for asking. My name is Stephanie Lambers, and I work with Cox Automotive. Cox Automotive is headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and we are responsible for helping consumers everywhere buy, sell, own, and use vehicles. So we pretty much touch every area of the automotive marketplace. So it's very exciting. My role specifically is to lead two functions within our learning and development space. And so I lead the design team. I also lead the operations team and learning, which is a newer function that's been around for just 3 years. And in operations, we are responsible for learning measurement, learner experience, and operational efficiencies. So I've been in the learning and development space for 25, and I add the plus years, and love every minute of it.
So how did you come to use Explorance and what tools are you using now?
Yeah, we've been with Explorance, a partner with Explorance for 6 years now. We were just thinking through that earlier today. Yeah, and we've loved every minute of it. It's really been an evolution. The products that we use mostly, we use MTM mostly for everything that we do. So we've tried out some other products in the past, but MTM works best for the solutions that we're looking to capture today.
So what were the pain points and the challenges that kind of led you to MTM?
Yeah. Actually, we didn't have a learning operations function prior to 3 years ago. So what evaluation looked like for us was very much haphazard in the way of SurveyMonkey. It could be using forms here and there. It was very sporadic and spread out. Yeah, very inconsistent. And so MTM allowed us an opportunity to really streamline, centralize all that we were doing to capture feedback. And so that's really where the need derived, is that we really were very inconsistent and very siloed across the business.
So there are different solutions out there. What drew you to MTM?
Yeah. Consistency, standards, customization, repeatable processes, repeatable practices, the dashboards. The list is actually very long on the benefits of using MTM. So it really allows our learners to know what to expect because it's consistent. They know what to expect every time. The information that we collect, we can customize what we ask from our learners, but the information that we collect, we can present in the way of dashboards that are very flexible, very customizable, so that we can get our stakeholders exactly what they're looking for. The integration with our learning management system is a huge benefit for us. So we have been working with SumTotal for quite some time now, but we're actually going through an implementation to transition to Workday Learn that launches in September. So yeah, so either one will be great. I know that our customer service rep has experience with integration with Workday Learn, so we feel like we're going to be set up for success with that partnership as well.
Great. Well, it sounds like things are working well. Can you talk about maybe a success story or two, something specific where you've seen improvement because of how you're using MTM?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of which one right now because there are so many. We've just seen huge success. Let's look at a new solution that we've offered. About a year and a half ago, we identified at Cox Automotive that helping our entry-level, first-time leaders, we call them frontline leaders, was a huge opportunity for us. We were seeing extremely high turnover. We were seeing not a lot of employee engagement with our managers, and the people that they were supporting were actually leaving the company also. So we really had to focus on our frontline leaders. Probably not surprising to you in what you hear right in this space. So we created a solution in learning, and we've delivered it in person. Kind of old school road show, going around in person to all of the locations so that all of our frontline leaders with 3 or less years of experience could go through this learning. So this is really where things changed for us with regard to MTM and using the solution. We started to stretch it in new ways. So instead of just evaluating and providing surveys and creating dashboards, we took it to another level where for all of these classes, we started to use pre and post surveys in class. So for this 2-day experience, we would ask a set of questions before the experience began, and then also at the end of the session to gauge the knowledge change or the gap of learning. So that was one piece that was really huge for us, and this is something we were able and capable of doing with MTM. And then we would always have our post evaluations as well. So with this, we've seen great success. We were able to not only gauge if there was a change in knowledge from the experience itself, but also able to see the learner's perception of the knowledge that they gained. And then we also use level 3 evaluations. So we're surveying and connecting with our learners 45 days to 90 days post to see if they've taken the knowledge and then transferred it back to the job. We do this with the employee and also the leader as well. So that's just really one example of a holistic way that we've used MTM.
Yeah, I'm curious with that data, have you also been able to use it to make improvements in the program going forward and some adjustments based on the results?
Absolutely, yeah. So across Cox Automotive, we support several different businesses. And so part of the feedback is that we needed to modify the approach based on if we were working with learners that were more from a corporate setting, or if we were working with learners that were more from a field-based setting, so those that are in the field, that are driving the trucks, that are the technicians and things of that nature. So collecting this feedback through MTM was really crucial in helping us modify our training approach.
Okay, great. So looking ahead, you've had some great success. What's next? What are some of the things that you want to do that you haven't gotten to?
Yeah, proactive consulting with the business.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so, we've worked really hard the last 3 years in operations to really set up an incredible foundation to really explore customizing dashboards for not only the learning experiences, but now also for the facilitators. We're even creating dashboards for our design team now based on some of those very specific questions we ask around content feedback, where the exercises and activities engaging for the learner and all of that. So we're setting this incredible foundation, and what's next for us is proactive reporting, consulting with the business. So what we want to be able to do is take where we've been with a certain portion of the business, tie it to their goals within the business for the year. Maybe it's their 3-year roadmap, and say, here's what we've done, here's where you want to go, and here's the gap that we see moving forward and how we can address it. So we really want to go from reaction and evaluating to proactive consulting approach with the business, giving all this incredible data that we have from MTM.
So you're using it to help establish the gaps and then consulting with your teams to, in advance, to see if you're moving in the right direction for the gaps.
Absolutely.
I want to go back to what you said at the very beginning where you used it for your design team, because I think that ties to professional development within the team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Really becoming important with all the changes going on in learning. So talk about that and how MTM is helping you with team development.
Yeah, I would say that most often when we think about evaluating a learning experience, we think about, did you achieve what you're after? We also look at the facilitator, right? Did the facilitator do the job? But in design, the designers play such a key role, whether you're working with subject matter experts or you actually have a design team in designing the learning, that the questions that are asked as a part of MTM, these are benchmarkable questions across the industry, where you can actually say, what was the development opportunity for the designers? Did they meet the goal? Did they bring in activities and exercises that really met the learner where they are? And so we've created our own dashboards now around content feedback. It includes the design, the activities, and all of that, so that we can help our designers to know if they're also meeting the mark. Not just our facilitators anymore, but our designers as well.
So pretend for a minute that I'm just somebody you met at the conference.
Okay.
And I want to know about Explorance.
Yeah.
What would you say about Explorance that could convince me to maybe work with them?
Yeah, I would say I am so excited you're here. And I hope that you learn a ton, which I know you will learn a ton at the conference. I would say, first I would ask you what your biggest opportunities or challenges are in the learning space. And then I would start to talk to you about what you could do using Explorance to help achieve those goals. So whether you are brand new in learning and you're here just kind of feeling things out, and you know you have some training programs and you want to start to evaluate them stronger, more seamlessly, you're in the right spot. Whether you are a few years into the learning and development space and evaluating, and you want to start to put some dashboards together for your stakeholders. You want to start to look at industry averages for our, benchmarking, net promoter score, which is whether a learner says they would recommend this experience to someone else, or whether you're, I would say, similar to where we're at, which is pretty advanced, and you're ready to take it to the next level, and you want to start to be more proactive in your approach. So I would ask you those questions as a learner of the Explorance conference and say that Explorance has a solution for whatever it is you're looking for.
Great. Just a couple more things that I'd like to ask.
Sure.
Are there any, obviously you've come a long way, right?
Yeah.
In the last several years. What are some of the lessons learned that you could share? Maybe even just one or two.
I appreciate that question because it's so important. Stakeholder alignment. So not only those that are requesting the training, the learning, but also the teams that you partner with. So alignment with your talent organization, your org effectiveness, change teams, the leadership that supports those. It's really important that learning is a strong partner with all of that. That's a huge lesson learned. I would also say creating standard operating procedures around what you're doing and making sure everyone is on board. It's amazing to have a technology that can enable you to achieve the goals you have, but if all of the partners you're working with aren't in alignment, and if you don't have, your basic standard operating procedures for who does what when in these reoccurring repeatable processes, I think that it can really hinder your progress. So I would say those two things are probably some huge lessons learned.
The stakeholder thing is huge, right?
Yeah.
In our research, it continues to be the number one priority and the number one challenge that organizations have, so that's really important.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything I haven't asked you that maybe you'd like to share?
Just keep learning. I think that we always know that technology will continue to change. So what I've really been impressed with, actually just hearing from the morning session, is what's going to be happening with Blue X. So I've already contacted our customer service rep and said, I want to hear all about it, because we've heard some chatter amongst the learning community within our organization that we're wanting to do some more of in the moment assessments. So not just after the experience, but in the moment of learning. And so it sounds like Blue X may have a solution for us. So we're excited to explore that a little bit more. And I would just say that Explorance is an incredible partner for us in the learning space.
Well, Stephanie, thank you very much for
Thanks
taking
for
the time.
having me
We really
so much.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
All right,
thank
take
you.
care.